This is video 5, walking bass lines. So if you haven't checked out the other ones, please check them out, because obviously the other ones come before this. So in the other videos we were looking at using chord tones to come up with bass lines. Over the first 8 bars of Autumn Leaves, C minor 7, F7, B flat major 7, E flat major 7, A minor 7 flat 5, D7 flat 9, G minor 6, G7 flat 9. Okay, so please go back and look at the other videos. So I'm going to sort of move a little steadily on through this without trying to backtrack too much. Okay, so we used arpeggios. And various different ways of mixing up those arpeggios, playing them backwards, playing the third note first, different variations. We're now going to move on to taking combinations of notes from the scale to come up with a bass line. We're still going to keep it simple. We're going to keep it diatonic. We've got a lot of ground still to cover before we even look at anything chromatic. So let's take the root, second and the third note of each chord. So let's think about this. First chord, C minor 7. So we're going to take the C, the D and the E flat. Or F7. We're going to take the F, G, A. Then we're going to go to the B flat major 7. Then we're going to go to the E flat major 7. Take the E flat, F, G. We're going to take the A minor 7 flat 5, we're going to take the A, the B flat and the C, and then we're going to take the D7 flat 9, we're going to take the D, oh it's a flat 9, so we're going to play an E flat, and then up to the third F sharp, then we're going to take the G minor, we're going to play the G, A, B flat, and then it goes to the G7 flat 9 flat 9 flat 13, so we're going to play a G, A flat, B. Okay, so we're basically taking the first notes of each scale. But hold on, that's 3 notes. We need 4 notes. This song's in 4/4. So let's add the root note again. So we could play. That'll work. We've actually got an interesting bass line. So it's going in a different direction. We're not talking about arpeggios now, we're talking about something more linear. Okay, but as for the arpeggios, it's another vehicle you can use to come up with new and interesting bass lines. But what if we kind of took the same example as we did with the arpeggios and we maybe kind of flipped the line around? Maybe we started on the third. So instead of playing root, second, third, root, root, second, third, root, what if we went third, second, root, third? So on the C minor 7, it would be E flat's the third, down to the D second, C is the root, and then back up to the E flat the third. So now we've got interesting. So we've got 2 options already. We've got and then we've got, starting from the third, okay, I was starting to do something different there. I was actually starting to play from the root and go down to the, sorry, from the third and go down to the root and then back up. You could do that as well. So there we go, we've got 3 options already. So 3 examples, we could start mixing this up. So for example, you could start playing the root, the second and the third on the, then you could go to the third on the F7, so you're going to go A, F, G, A, and then you could go back to the, where are we? And then we could go to the, even when we get to the E flat, we could actually go, we could do our first example. So this is just all ideas that you can kind of put in your box of tools to get you starting to think about not just playing the same boring walking bass lines. When you play a walking bass line, you're improvising. Just like anybody else in the band, like the saxophone player or the guitarist, whoever's taking your solo, you're improvising underneath. And you should be striving to come up with new and exciting ways of emphasizing the chord structure. It's important that we play the chord structure. Notice that all the examples are still down here in the first 5 frets. We're not interested in the rest of the bass at the moment. All our examples are down here. Keep that in mind. I stress that in every video. We want to learn to be able to play everything down here. So we've got 3 options. We can play root, second, third, root. We can play third, second, root, third. Or we could play third, root, second, third. There's another option here, isn't there? What did we play? That was root, second, third, root. What did we play? Root, third, second, root. So we've got 4 options here. There's enough there to go on with. Okay, so I think this is a good place to stop the video. Let's just recap on what we've done. So we're playing around the first 8 bars of Autumn Leaves like we have done in every video. We started off playing root, second, third, 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 root. Then we also did root, third, second, 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 root, oh my god, root, third, second, root, third, second, root. Then we went from the third, so we went third, root, second, 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 third. And then we went third, second, root, third. So we went third, second, root, 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 third, second. So you've got 4 combinations that you can start mixing up. Straight away, you're coming up with interesting bass lines. So if you combine this with the arpeggios, which we will be doing on the next video, we're going to start combining these 2 options together and see if we can come up with some really interesting bass lines. All within the first 5 frets. Keep in mind, do not play with outside the first 5 frets. We can move up here later. We want to be able to play everything down here without moving our hands. That's the whole point, you know, to be able to play. Be able to play without moving your hands. That's a little bit further down the line what I was doing there, by the way. So, see how you get on with this. Roots, seconds and thirds and different combinations over the first 8 bars. If you really nail this, then start looking at the whole tune. The great thing about Autumn Leaves, it's a great vehicle for working on because it's a structure that kind of repeats through the tune. So once you kind of get down over the first 8 bars, it should make sense for the rest of the structure. Okay, and then we'll move on from there.